Hey there, sexy souls. Good morning. Welcome to another Coffee and Tarot. And I've got it on the other. This one's been feeling weird. This isn't my normal one. I usually have a flat one. This is Weird and Woo Woo, where I'm weird and we get woo woo. It's kind of in the title. Hey, Manishka. Hey, Terry. So, kind of expect it. All right, just expect it. I briefly, before I got on, almost forgot that this was Friday and it was the weekend. Because it felt like there was, I got the terms money matters, right? And then I got this feeling of like, no, like right now. And then I heard like before Monday. And I'm like, that's a whole week. And I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my God, no, that's like, but I can't tell in this if it's something where it's like spirit is saying that, or if the person's asking this. Like, no, I like, I don't know. It just feels like it has the energy of something being due. And so somebody's looking like, what do I do? No, LP. What? Why? What's their fucking excuse? Was it fires or something? Okay. Well, get your fucking coffee or something, or your tea. Yeah, see, here in America, we be still going. We're like, oh, it's it raining? Okay. Like we've got a hurricane coming over here. That will stop some shit. I'll tell you that much. And then the funny thing is it's gonna hit like our New England area. So we shall see. Okay, we shall see. How that impacts us. Now that's the only kind of wind and rain that would stop this. So, and snow. We get lots of snow here. So. Whiny, really? I have free fallen so many times in the States. Right? We're good. We're still in the air. What's wrong with you? Put your seatbelt on. That's what we tell you. Put your seatbelt on. Duh. I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, really? Wind, rain? That's it? Like, it needs to be like it's gonna rip our wings off the plane before we stop. So I'm just we go anyways. And buddy, let me tell you what, even then, Spirit Airlines is still gonna get going. Okay. So yeah, it's like, I don't know, it feels like, I don't know if something's emergent, although here's the funny thing. It's kind of like something's due or something, it might be pressing, but like as far as like emergent, whoever might be inquiring about this or thinking about this or is contemplating their money doesn't feel panicked. I just heard, oh my God, the song "Here We Go Again." I don't sing, guys. Okay, I can't sing, but it was like, ooh, good, Kelsey, perfect timing. See, universe knew. They're like, sit down, have a cup, girlfriend. You need to relax because you know it's hard being mom. I spend an hour dropping my kids off at school and an hour picking them up from school. All right, here we go, guys. All right. So I don't really know what it is about the money, but we're going to figure it out. And it's funny that it comes on the heels of the weekend. I'm like, okie dokie. Okay. LP, I feel pushed. Oh, that's okay. I just remembered what I just had this urge to tell you to make sure you watched all of yesterday. And then I just remembered what it was about. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of mean. Yesterday was an attitude. I'm just gonna tell you. Alyssa, hey girl. So yeah, I don't know. Like yesterday, Spirit had an attitude. Just saying. All right, here we go. At first I was there was this draw. Like I felt energy coming off of this, the fallen angel oracle, and I was like, no. And I don't know why. Like maybe here. Like it just doesn't feel like something that should. I was like, at some point, I wanted to put it off. I wanted to be like, I wanted to tell the deck, oh, fine, okay, you want to be heard, but I'm not pulling you first. Like I don't know why I felt like that. Where's that coming from? Is that you? Is that spirit? Is that what? Okay. Okay. Well, Spirit's got some things to say to you because yesterday Spirit had. I literally, it was a tongue lashing. I will say that much. It was almost like Spirit was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like it was a little bit like that. I was like, so maybe this is your all's energy today of like not wanting to hear something or not. No, that doesn't feel like it's yours though. It's almost the energy of like, look, I ain't in the mood to hear wrong information. And it's like, I already know that this is going to say some shit. And it's like, I don't feel like it's pertinent. Almost like I don't want a big long explanation or story. I want a direct answer. And this feels like, no, you want to go on and lament about something. So no. Hold on. And I just don't want to hear the bullshit. Like, I don't want to hear your opinion. I don't want to hear the backstory. Just answer the question. And it's funny because yesterday, wasn't yesterday someone asked and answered? What in the fuck is going on? Why am I sneezing? So I don't know what that's about. Like somebody just doesn't want to hear a big long story. Somebody doesn't want to hear all the whatever. It's I'm telling you, we used to joke around in my household because the only other person, my mom can sneeze several times, but the only other person that would sneeze 7 times was my grandmother. And she and I didn't get along. She was like a backwoods. She was the grandma that would make snide comments and backhanded things, and like no matter what she did, she was always right, and you had to respect her and everything. And she could talk down about you. She could say negative things about women. She'd say negative things about people of color. She would and you just had to she's old. That's a generation, and I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand that people gave her a bypass. And she used to be like, "You're so snotty," and I just thought, "You're an asshole." Like I didn't really like her. And so I hate it when they act like, like I'm the one that I got beef with her to the point where it's like if I feel like my ancestors around, I'm like, she don't come here. Because I feel like she's still tied to some of her human bullshit, you know what I mean? And I just always felt like she was just like, she just always, I don't know, like she was entitled. Like she could just get away with it. It was terrible. And I knew at a young age it was like, she was just disgusting to me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm bringing that up for a reason. So it's like maybe that's what it is. Like if I hate being associated with something, or I don't want to hear it. Like maybe I wouldn't ever take advice from her ever. Although she could cook. I will give her that credit. She'd spend hours upon hours in the kitchen. I tried so hard to like her. Um, so I would, anyways, she always had underhanded shit to say about me whenever I was around. I was a little kid too. And so I can't stand it anytime I see like that because it reminds me of her. And I'm like, you ever just not want to be associated with somebody? This is coming up for a reason. Hold on here. Let's dig through this because I ain't never told y'all about my grandma like that before. I mean, she would talk about people's color of their skin and all kinds of shit. I would draw something and she would make fun of it. If I would cry, she'd be like, "Oh, let me." Oh, it's kind of like yesterday's attitude. Like, "Oh, come here. I'm thirsty. Let me catch some tears." Like she would just like she was a bitch. She would act like she was gonna catch my tears. Oh, so because she was thirsty. Let me, like she didn't give a shit. And I like her. She was like, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe the idea and notion of like, look, I don't want to hear the bullshit. Like, there's something with that. Like something with the like. There's just something associated with something you don't want to listen to. You've got zero interest in hearing the bullshit. Okay, because between the two, that's what I'm getting. Like the fact that I'm going and lamenting on about, I've never spoken of her. Like it's the kind where like, like when you make sure that person's not a part of your spiritual team. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, no, absolutely not. So between the deck where it's like, okay, maybe at some point, like I kept feeling energy. I really didn't want to, you know what I mean? I kept feeling the energy. What is this? Maybe it's something where you have energy within you that you don't like feeling anymore and you're done with it. Is it trying to tell you something and you're like, I don't even want to entertain what you have to say. I don't care what you have to say. I don't want to hear it. This is curious. There's something there. I know there's something there. It's going to come out. I do not discuss her whatsoever. Okay. Where are we going to start then? If not there. Because that deck just makes me feel like somebody wants to when somebody says something they've got no place to say. Like an interjection of it's like it's futile information, it's useless information, it's not even true and accurate, it's not even whatever. Now they're bringing up an incident. Okay, so y'all are just gonna learn some shit about me. An incident that happened right after my father passed, where my mom has some family friends that they all would like, people who love to be in victimhood status, right? And they like to one up each other on all the stories of things that have gone wrong in their life. Well, when I did this, well, if you think that's bad, then this, or, you know what I mean? And all I could ever do was just kind of like their whole life surrounded about talking about all the things that were wrong with their bodies and all the things they've had to endure. And, so-and-so, like they, oh my God. And I got to be honest with you, there's a couple of people, my mom was even here. Those who are regulars know for a couple, about 5 or 6 weeks. And she's got a friend in particular. And I'm like, that heifer is a narcissist. I can't stand her. Like she is the worst human that my mom could, but because she's not mean to her, she's always nice to me. And I'm like, what a asshole thing. To be like, oh, well, this person can be utterly, it's kind of, that's the thing. there's some level of excuse. Okay, we're getting to it. Some level of excuse being made for bad behavior. Like something, like these are the people that would put blame on you and would, just like how boomers are like, oh, well, when I was your age, I could do this and da da da. And it's like the times are different. And the fact that you want to sit there and put me down, given that you had hell of a more leg up and a better situation in your life at that time than I do right now. Circumstances are not the same. And for you to sit there and think that you can pass judgment. So there's something about judgment. There's something about placing blame and somebody else not accepting responsibility. It's almost like the source in which something comes from is bullshit. What's this got to do with money? Almost as if it's like, maybe there's a voice within you from your past that wants to say things that was placed there by all these types of individuals that were in your life in regards to money. Like, well, it's all on you and you're the reason. Because I feel like I'm not going to listen to that anymore. Because I don't want to, like, the fact that I am real quick to cut people off. I'm real quick to, the example after my father passed, I was saying something, not even anything negative. And this dumb bitch sits there and says to me, I'm talking within days of my father passing. Within days. We hadn't even had the funeral yet. And she's one of, like, my mom has some of the shittiest friends. And I'm like, that speaks about you, Mom. Who said something to the effect of, she was like, oh my God, why are you always so negative? You're so negative, just like your father. And I'm like, bitch, say something about my father. Say something about my fucking father, because I don't care if you're on crutches or not. I'll knock your ass out. Her daughter had to enter, Mom, like who the fuck are you? Like, this is the same person who always has it worse than everybody else and has to tell them about how it's so bad. Sorry. And it's one of those things where it's like, maybe it's something about not listening to those voices, but there's something here. So you all might have some kind of, in regards to money, some voice that is consistent within you that's been planted there by sources that are not valid, and maybe this voice constantly belittles you, makes it where you're the culprit and you're the reason and things like that. So, and I know that you're sick and tired of it. I know that you're sick and tired of it, because it's like, I'm not even going to listen to that. Like, I'm sick and tired of hearing it. I don't want to listen to that. Like, I feel something attached to me now from top, like, I know that sounds so weird for some of y'all. Like, I feel it on my hand, my left hand. And so my left hand is where I receive. And so maybe there's you are having difficulty with receiving because of something in regards to, because all of these people are like prominent people in your life that would have, like, they create voices within your head. This would be family. Like, these are like very out of touch. All right, so let's get into it. It's curious that, because it feels a little something like, what's that got to do with? Oh, I just pissed off Mommy. It's time to stop listening to those voices. Time to stop listening to those voices. Because whatever it is blocking you from accepting, receiving, allowing something to come in. It's almost like a plague within you or on you. I just feel like you are giving yourself this sense of, like, there may be like a generational curse in regards to money matters. Because when we're talking about money matters, and we're talking about, here we go again, like, so, and something being emergent, or like something due or past due, but somebody getting to the point where it's like, so used to it, you're kind of numb to it, because like somebody's just not even like, okay, like, it doesn't feel very emergent, but you're like, oh, Like there's just a numbing off to this. So it's like there's a cycle that's happening in somebody's financial matters that might be a direct result and impacted by a level of programming from family, from your community, from those you grew up with, because all of these people are saying that, and it's like, and everything that comes from all the examples I gave is like condescension and putting down and like blaming and things like that. And that's something that's stopping inner power, stopping from something coming in. Freedom flows. So let's begin here. Okay, so let's explore this really quick. We've got inner power. By your own command, you brought yourself here. At this moment in life, you have nothing to fear. Do you feel condemned to repeat some family pattern? To carry the torch? Something about the moment here, which is exactly the way that so somebody was taught to live in fear of potentialities and negative things happening and being in lack. So that all your decisions and stuff from that point forward, it's a very negative standpoint, a very negative mind frame in regards to money. Because I was getting like, it's the weekend and something right here about money matters. And so it's by your own command, you brought yourself here, which in a way is like, I don't know if I like that. It's well, it's your fault that you ended up right here, right now, right? But then it says, at this moment in life, you have nothing to fear. Is it, I got myself into this, I can get myself out kind of energy, so why even be fearful? Or is it that I've actually brought myself to this point so I can do it differently? Let's keep going. Freedom flows. Don't hold yourself back from worldly freedom. Dream grand things for divine sacred reason. Dream grand things. Is somebody trying to keep themselves within practicality because I get the energy of, if I can't do it with the very mundane things, what makes me think that I can do it with anything big? So someone continues to play small because they feel like I can't even be successful in playing small. So what makes me think I could do that? You're holding yourself back. Don't hold yourself back from worldly freedom. That right there in that saying has something to do with the money pattern that's been experienced in your life. Do not fear what travel brings, my dear. The moment is yours. Begin now here. Do not, 2 times they're like, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to go after something that you really want. Don't be afraid to go after something very grand. Don't hold yourself back. Don't fear what moving forward may mean, what travel brings. Somebody may be so used to having everything well planned and thought out, and that there's a sense of security in knowing, okay, you're so used to going routes where it'll be secure. This is, well, you don't know if that's going to bring you something. We know that this will, you know what I mean? Like, why would you choose? Like, it's like the idea of somebody who went to law school, and it's like, why would you give up going to law school to be an actor? Like, you have a security here. You don't have that guaranteed here. So there's an inner voice, inner critic that has convinced you You can't make money by doing something different than what everybody else has done. And that could be everybody in your family, that could be everybody in your community, that could be society's understanding like you need to have a 9 to 5 in order to be able to survive. Like you really truly believe that. You're telling yourself, you're being just as condescending to yourself as those other people were. And the belief that anything outside of this cookie cutter way of doing things won't be successful. I find it curious. By your own command, you brought yourself here. Where did you bring yourself? Where did you bring yourself? Is it the moment where you have the opportunity to do it outside the box and now you're not willing to? We're going to start there. We're going to figure this shit out. I don't know what this is. Where are we going? David! All right. Well, we got some peeps here. We got Alyssa. David, get your coffee, settle in, make sure it's powerful and potent, okay? LP, this read feels very pointed. Big dreams or safe dreams or just stagnation. It's a good start, David. Start with water. I wish I was smart like you, because do you know how many times I get reminded to start with water and then get my coffee and I'm like, ugh. And I go get my coffee in the morning? A lot. Oh, that taking. See your truth. Know your power. You don't believe something's possible. You're willing to give up on it. You're willing to stick with the status quo. All you can do is hear the voices from, I want to say, the voices from Christmas past, from your past. You were born to create. Okie dokie. What? Like, I don't know if you have just convinced yourself that there's no way for you to have a sustainable life and to have the money that you need and to have everything taken care of by doing what it is that you really want to do. Because we're getting back to this. I feel like somebody, like the idea and notion that there are certain ancestors I will not allow in my purview speaks volumes. And maybe there is energy in your field, either ancestral or those that are alive, echoing what your ancestors would have said, that cast and place doubt and fear poverty. They fear poverty. And so the safe and secure way, they fear poverty. Somebody in your past fears it is like probably their biggest fear. They probably have trauma around poverty. And it's been passed down to you. This is somebody who would maybe isn't materialistic, but it is in the sense that that's how they deem whether they're okay, is to be able to accumulate and get the things that they want. This may be somebody that was very like hoarderish, never wanted to get rid of anything because they saw everything as either an example or a reminder or a token of any hard work that they put out. Why would I just toss something? Why would I just get rid of these things? Like they used items as, I don't know why I'm getting this, as something to validate success in their life. They didn't even have to be rich. Like they had to convince themselves they weren't impoverished. There's a massive fear of poverty here. See the truth, know your power, you were born to create. Somebody holds back from putting their all in something. The fear of poverty hinders somebody's ability to tap into their sacral and be creative. Now, I want to remind you, like creative is all kinds of different things. I feel like even project managers, which requires a lot of analytical skills, can also be very creative. Social media managers get really creative about things. Influencers have to be creative. Art, it's not just the artist, the musician. Like creativity is your ability to express in the way that you see fit. Like that's a true expression of yourself. And somebody's holding back from doing something they really want to do. It's giving Four of Cups energy. Here's the 3 cups that are in front of me. And I have this apathy towards that, but I'm also refusing to take the cup that's coming out of the sky, like the thing that is meant for me, the thing that I'm destined for, or the thing that speaks to my soul. You know what I mean? And we keep hearing this echoed in society right now. People are just lazy. People just don't want to see. That's what it is. That's where the condescension is coming from. People just want to like the Gen Z just wants to blah, 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 blah. They're so entitled. They believe that X, Y, and Z. When people are really just asking for work-life balance, for me not to want to harm or unalive myself. I just want to not be in a place where I want to do this. Okay, I want to be able to withstand my life, and I can't stand it. This is happening in the United States right now. A lot of European countries are not in this, but this is what this is what it's reminding me of. This idea and notion of how dare you, almost like someone trying to convince you how entitled of you to think that you just get to enjoy your life. I had to work hard. Like it's that there's condescension. There's condescension. There's something creeping up in somebody's mind. They're hearing it. They're seeing it on TV. It's being repeated. Like all these people, like they won't even come back into work. Like they think they all get to work from home and blah, blah, blah. And it's just kind of like, how dare you ask for a livable wage? How dare you, you know what I mean? Like if you just worked hard, it calls into question your worthiness. It makes you second guess yourself. So I want to know, like, what are you talking about? By your own command, you brought yourself here. Like, this is what you wanted. But also at this moment in life, you have nothing to fear. Like, have you created a situation where you're free from anything that could prevent you from doing this? And you still won't do it because you've gotten yourself to the place where you're being offered the freedom to do this and you won't. Let's pull cards. Okay. Sunlight Tarot. That was very fast. I almost felt like something. I just went for it and I was like, didn't even pause. What the fuck do you mean by you brought yourself by your own command? Like, what does that got to do with? I feel like you're gonna get the backstory whether you like it or not. We're trying to. I'm like, you just want to fucking answer. You're like, I don't want to hear all this shit. I don't want to hear it again. But you're about to get a backstory. It feels like brought yourself here by your own command. Wheel of Fortune. Ebbs and flows, ups and downs. There's always going to be that in life, right? There's always going to be the consistent turning of the wheel. Funny thing is, in this particular card, his hand is up here and it looks like he's cranking it. He's turning the wheel himself, not fate. You brought yourself here by your own command. You have the capacity. Even this little dude down here, this little dude, he's cranking that little wheel. So it's almost as if you can turn the wheel. You can turn the wheel if you so choose. You can turn the wheel, but you struggle. You struggle and you've put your heart in a cage. We've got the Five of Wands where it's like you still feel like you owe something to these other things that are pulling on you. Whether it's the voices that convince you that you should be focusing on this, and this, you know what I mean? Like these other quote unquote, they're showing me the Two of Swords, like there's two truths, right? And it's almost like, is it your truth though? Is that your truth? Like, what are the things that, Five of Wands, something is pulling you in multiple directions, preventing you from the world. I want to say life. Life stops me from being able to go after what I want. Like you put your heart on ice. You put what you desire, what you want on hold because there's too much pulling at me. Maybe these people are not turning the wheel, but they're stopping the wheel from turning. Maybe, when you put a spoke in a wheel, it stops. I wonder if you're doing things that you think are going to turn the wheel and really it's just going to stop the wheel from turning. You're very concerned. You're very logical. You're very much so only allowing logic to dictate your moves, the practical. And you have competing desires. They're showing me that these different sticks all have something twined around them and then they're all connected. So it's almost like something is being, like your desires are being halted. Your desires, there's competing desires here. But you can't, things will not open and move forward, the World card, unless you take the next step. So you're refraining from taking another step. You're refraining from taking the necessary step. So if you're upset that things are at a standstill, you brought yourself here by your own command. But you have nothing to fear, is what they're saying. You're stopping the wheel from turning because of your competing desires that are all, you're looking at the reason why your desires are all entwined and like restrained is because your head is dictating everything and not your heart. So the desires of your head, you're trying to quiet those voices you're so used to. The one that sounds like it's you, but it was really planted there by so many other people, and that society at large is trying to reinforce right now, like this big ass campaign by all these corporate because they're losing employees and they're losing people that want to work for them, and it's going to impact them in the long run. Governments are scared. We don't have enough people to work. Well, if we don't have enough people to work, guess what? The supply and demand is going to go down. So we're not like they're afraid. They're acting like, oh, we won't have enough for people. Well, yeah, we will, because we'll have less people. So we won't need as much. So naturally the workforce will go down. Oh, you're worried about your money. Like there's this active campaign, it feels like, where it's like you keep having something reiterated to you that you yourself experience. You may have heard a lot of things being said by your family members growing up. Like you probably were chastised for not falling in line. What are you doing? You brought yourself here. Why won't you let the wheel turn? You're holding yourself back. Don't hold yourself back. That's what it is. The wheel's not turning. It's not about you turning the wheel or you being able to. You might think that you can, and you might think that I must slow it down and let it do this, or I might do, like you're trying to control the wheel. That's not how it works. Don't hold yourself back from worldly freedom. Like, don't hold yourself back from freedom from the expectations placed upon you by the world. Free yourself from the expectations. But you're afraid of something. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? We already know that fear of poverty. But what does that mean to you? What do you think is going to happen in poverty? Because that's where I think the real fear is. That's why anybody hunkers down in the fear of poverty. Because there's something else they're afraid that's going to happen as a result. There's plenty of people that in this world have a camper van and they have hardly any bills. They don't really work very much and they live happy, wonderful lives. And by some people's standards, that would be impoverished, right? That's poverty. It's true. What do you think you'll lose as a result of being in poverty? What do you actually fear? You might be using poverty as the excuse because it's been echoed throughout. And you may hear from your subconscious all the voices of the people that programmed you in your life that may still be doing that. But what is the real fear here? Repeating the pattern. Not finding the way out. I think it really is constantly being in lack and that you're going to perpetuate negative things in your life as a result of going after what it is that you truly want. Or are you afraid? We have the Five of Cups. In this deck, this person knows the way out. You've seen all the things that could go wrong. You turned around and you found the two cups behind you. You picked them up. Why are you looking around? They're hesitating. How do you know the way out and simultaneously not see the way out? How do you do that at the same time? Disbelief. Then we have a Knight of Cups. Funny that he's literally replenishing himself. He's surrounded by all this water, takes this cup, scoops up the water, and he's drinking it for himself. He's not handing that to anybody. Is it the voice of is it the how dare you? Is it the how dare you think that you are blah, 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 blah? Is it the well, I had to do it this way. I had to do it the hard way. I had to suffer through this. I had to work hard. I just heard it can't really be that simple. So you don't believe it can be that simple. You believe that following your heart and what you know you really want to do will be just as hard as what you've come from and what you don't want to be a part of without any guarantee. And so there the voice comes in and says, yeah, but this way's, you'll be safe with that way. That's why you should do that. That's why you should be doing this. The audacity of you to dream big, to think that you can just exist and get paid. How dare you? That it's just going to all work out for you. It never all worked out for me. I had to suffer. I had to go through all this stuff. Five of Cups, you know the way out. You're still in the energy of constantly looking at everything that's gone wrong, though. You're cautious. You've got the Two Cups, but you're not moving. You're in disbelief. How dare I believe it's that easy? How dare I believe it's that easy? It's not that simple. You fear making the same mistake. Funny thing is, if you go back to what you've been doing, you will still continue in that loop. You will still continue making the same mistake is what it feels like. Like you've done that one a lot. You moving into this new trajectory or this new path, you haven't. But the question is, if doing the same thing hasn't gotten you anywhere, why not try something different? You're paralyzed. Your fear of failure, fear of it not working out, your fear of, there's got to be an underlying, it surely can't be that you're afraid of fulfillment. Like, are you afraid of the boredom of having everything that you want? Is your nervous system so used to having to be in panic mode and emergency mode and lack in order, is that what it is? I mean, that's what's being repeated is it has to be hard. It has to be hard. It has to be hard. I have to do all of this. I have to sacrifice. I have to blah, blah, blah. That's what you're hearing. That's what's being echoed within your bloodline. That's what you're being told. Fall in line, fall in line, fall in line. The audacity for you to believe it can be easy. You're taking the easy way out. You're going to end up shooting yourself in the foot. You're not going to make it. You're just going to end up right back here. Ooh, is that what it is? You're afraid you're just going to end up right back where you were? Are you afraid that everybody else will be right? Your fear of everybody else being right is a thing that keeps putting you right back in this place. That's why you're repeating this. You not moving forward, you stopping the wheel from turning is the reason you're here again. Oh, it can't be that easy. I mean, look at how easy it was for him to have fulfillment and joy. He literally just had to pull his cup out, scoop up all the abundance that's right around him, and drink. It's not that easy. Like the fact that you have focused on the 3 cups for so long. It's been like this for so long. And you turn around and you're like, oh, there. It's not that easy. You know, the ego will look for evidence of its truth. So if your ego or any aspect or your subconscious keeps throwing this up, it will then scan your environment to go, see. Yep. See, I was right. See, to put you firmly in place, to anchor you into this sphere. Oh, and when we talk about generational curse breakers, we always remind, like everybody always reminds you that it's going to grate people when you start to do this. We never talk about what that looks like and in what circumstances, right? The only example that other people give is when you establish your boundaries, like don't talk to me like that, or I deserve this kind of da. Well, what about when you go against society and family and friends, your environment, your community, to have the audacity to do something different and to have it easy? Because when you embody that, you're going to dispel and disperse their hardcore beliefs that they had to do that to be successful in life. And when you prove them wrong, they're not going to like it. You mean I didn't have to be like this? I didn't have to endure this? It's the same thing that's happening right now in the United States with student loan debt. People who suffered trying to pay their debt, which we will have a conversation one day about that, because the federal government here does everything it can to screw us over. Everything. A lot of propaganda to get people to go to school only to be tied to it for life. And so some of the people, well, I had to pay mine off. Why do you get off scot? Knowing damn well society is way worse. They did deserve to have it easy, but because they didn't, we're going to make you shouldn't have it easy. People are going to be pissed. People are going to be pissed and say all kinds of shit, and they're going to like star card. This is healing the bloodline. Because when you choose a different path and you show your children or those that come after you, or you become the light for other people to show that this is possible, they're going to get irritated with it. Because they're still firmly in the belief that it's not. Why do you get to have it easy? What's so special about you? Everything, bitch. Everything. You're special too. At the bottom of the deck is the 9 of Cups. Take a look at this one, which is your wish fulfillment. All it requires for you is to drink up. You see, same cup coming out. Same cup. And just drinking up. This is you believing in it. This is you having faith in it. People will be irritated. They will talk about you. They'll say shit. People do it all the time. They act like being on YouTube isn't a real profession. Reading tarot isn't a real profession. Being an influencer. If I'm fucking making money and I'm making an impact on this world, because it doesn't look like what they or society says it should. And you don't want them to be right. That's the crux of your fear. What if they are right? Oof, that'd be a blow to ego. It's, what's that saying? If I jump, what if I fall? And people are like, well, what if you jump and you fly? Like, what is that one like that? We always focus on the worst case scenario versus the best case scenario. Free yourself from this shit. Don't hold yourself back. You're holding back from freeing yourself from the world's expectations, parameters, and things that have been imposed on you. You're holding yourself back. You've got nothing to fear. At this moment in life, you have nothing to fear. Do not fear what travel brings, my dear. The moment is yours. Begin now here. Let's go there. We'll get it. What are you holding yourself? Okay, so now we know why. We know what the fear is. We know what this is at the crux of that fear. You want to save face. Only you're sacrificing yourself in that. You're keeping yourself in a powerless state. You are creating a circumstance where you don't thrive. What is the choice here? What are they holding them? I get there's something creative. It's your truest expression. That's what I want to say. Like a path that feels most authentically like you. Going universal. Are you shitting me? The Hierophant and the Empress on the split. My father told me this when I was 14. He cried in front of me, emotionally manipulated me, and his father did the same to him. I'm literally asking for justice for my father. Oh my God. I just realized it. Decided to drop out of nursing school to go back to school after 10 years to study art. Woo! And let's say I still get lectured about not being able to make the money. And that also brings into question the idea and notion of what is your definition of poverty, right? Some people see poverty as the lack of money and what that could mean in life, whereas other people see poverty as the utter lack of joy, the utter lack of willingness to exist. Like, what is the point of going down a path that you'd rather I'd rather not be here with? There are plenty of people who are choosing not to exist for the sake of fulfilling other people's dreams, of serving others and emptying their cup. Like, they slowly die inside from that type of lifestyle. That's lack. Okay. I see something. At what point did that flip? Did that flip, or is that from another? By standing in your power, I've got the Queen of Wands here. She has confidence. She has self-worth. She has self-love. And that's where she makes her fucking decisions from. She doesn't chase after something. She stands in her power and her truth and radiates that. Being in your power. This is just strictly about knowing what you desire and standing firm in that, and knowing your worth will allow you to bring in three of wands, ships coming in. That is where your ships will come in. That is where your ships will come in. How does that help in the moment? I think that there's a desire, though, for somebody. There's something in their very present moment that they consistently deal with that seems to act as an impediment to standing in their power. a lack of stability. We got the Five of Cups again with the Four of Wands. For some, it may be concerns and fears and things not going right within the home. But most importantly, the consistent, always seeing everything that goes wrong with someone's stability. Like this perpetual, I can't see anything else. I can't focus on the two cups that are behind me. I can't see that because I don't have any stability in my life. Now, if we tell children, we talk about like what children will need, correct? To thrive in life as adults. And it is, we always talk about a sense of security and safety growing up. If children need that, why the fuck don't adults? In order to be able to, you know what I mean? And that may be the crux of it. I am consistently facing instability within my life. And that keeps me in a place of fearing that somebody's right. That if I had the firm foundation, then maybe I wouldn't hold myself back. If the things didn't consistently keep going wrong, if I didn't stay in this perpetual state of insecurity, lack of stability within my life, then maybe I wouldn't hold back I wouldn't stop the wheel from turning. Hence why somebody's like, oh, some things do. Money matters. It's around money, financial security. Why can't that be rectified, Spirit? Let's play devil's advocate here. If people didn't have to worry about all of their basic needs, the likelihood that they could put their all in what their heart truly wants and desires, which is by design from society, right? Make you dependent on the capitalist bullshit, make you dependent on certain things. I can't help it. There's not a barter system anymore. I have to have money in order to be able to execute certain things, to maintain communication with the world, and to do anything anymore. I have to have internet. I have to have a computer. I have to have access, or a phone. I have to have access. I have to have all these things because everything is being designed where you must have it, or else you are at risk. Why can't they just, if it's so easily rectified, why can't you just bring security into their life and they'll have no qualms about this? They'll follow their heart. And they just brought me to, at this moment in life, you have nothing to fear. What the fuck? As a thought tarot. Instability. I feel like this Five of Cups is constant hits to someone's stability. I mean, should somebody have to go homeless and just to pursue something? Well, here's the Four of Cups I was telling y'all about. I ain't taking this shit, but I ain't going after this either. Maybe this is happening because somebody's really not actually fully going after something yet. You're still holding back. You're stopping the wheel from turning. If we stop the wheel from turning, then we don't, because the wheels that they use are usually the ones that pick up the water, which is the abundance. If you stop the wheel from turning, that is what's keeping you in lack, though. You hold back because you're unstable financially, but then you won't just do so that you can receive. You won't let the wheel go. You won't just pick two of pentacles. You won't go down a path. Whether I feel like it's like either do this one or do this one. Don't just stand there. And it starts, it can't be that easy. You believe it cannot be that easy. You don't believe it'll be that easy. You believe it'll be another however many years of fighting to make something pop off with no guarantee that it will. So it's like somebody facing eviction and they're like, hey, if you would just do your art and put it out there, and you're like, bullshit. I've seen enough starving artists to know that just because I do my art and put it out there doesn't mean I'll suddenly be able to pay rent. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, there's a disbelief there. There's a disbelief there. It comes from something. You've obviously seen examples of it. And so the voices of the other people that nag at you, they're like, see, you should go back to this. You don't want to hear it. That's this. I don't want to hear it. I don't fucking want to hear it. The condescension, you won't even say something. You won't even say anything. You're afraid of them being right. You're afraid of them seeing that they're right. You're afraid of letting people see that you fail. You're afraid of actually failing. You're afraid of having instability, so you won't do it, but you keep yourself in the state of instability. How do you get out of that, Spirit? How do you fucking get out of that? I mean, we come from a society that says you need money to make money. You hold yourself back, Four of Cups, from this abundance, Three of Cups, and this level of independence and financial stability, Nine of Pentacles, because you won't just take the lead and do, Emperor. You are keeping yourself from being the leader in your life. I just get the feeling, Spirit, that somebody needs immediate help and assistance. Hence why we're talking about the weekend. Hence why they're like, I'm here again. Hence why it's like, so why are they not to ensure that they can keep moving forward? To ensure that they can keep moving forward. Hermetic Tarot. Because this all started out with something about this weekend. I was thinking it wasn't the weekend, and I was like, they're like, okay, let's see what's going to happen in the next little bit. And I'm like, oh, or like by Monday is what it was. And I'm thinking like, oh, it's earlier in the week. Why? I don't know. I have children that go to school. I know what damn day it is. Seriously. But I didn't. Like, out of my head. And I was like, oh, it's the weekend. I'm like, and my thing is, at the weekend, like, that's a little late, right? That's not much time. So you're asking about something that's due. Remember, I said there was something that's due. Something is due. And it almost has the feeling like there's not enough time. Like, you don't have enough time to do this. Like, you think something's going to take way more time way more time than it will. Oh, Lord have mercy. You think it's too late. You think it's too late. Something's too late. You think it's like the answer they're giving you feel like it's too late. Like, I need something more immediate. That's why I didn't want to listen to this shit. I was like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to fucking hear it because you already knew. You already knew what Spirit was going to say. And I already knew. But I'm asking about right here, right now. And you don't believe if it's like, okay, Spirit, I'm going to paint something this weekend then. Let's see how fast it'll fucking sell then. It's like you want to call it to task. Like, you're tired of hearing that because it's taking more time and you need something more immediate. And that's why you're holding back. I feel like somebody's holding back. Somebody is holding back. They feel justified in holding back. No, they don't want the other shit, but they're just like, and all they can hear are all those other voices. It's demoralizing to think that other people were right. Because we got the Queen of Wands again. She's very creative. She knows her worth. She knows what she's good at. She's a very powerful individual. Negatively aspected, though. Devil and Ten of Swords, beat down, exceptionally insecure. Reactive, angry, self-sabotaging. This is like the idea of you need to straighten your crown. And somehow you find that to be patronizing. Like, if I could have fucking did that, I'd have done it by now. But life keeps happening so that I have no choice but to keep putting fires out. It's not like what they said, where it's so simple where I can just turn around and grab the 2 cups and just go. You don't believe it's that easy. And you have something you're holding on to that tells you it's not. And it just keeps you in this loop. Beat down. What could change this? They got 10 of Cups. And right here, it literally says, love you too, Anna. Perfected success. 10 of Cups. But I'm paying attention to the perfected success. If you feel like you've been here before over and over and over again, and you keep getting beat down and you don't know how you can move beyond it, it's almost as if they're saying you have the capacity to do this. Like, all that is perfecting your ability to have success at this. How do we move beyond this, Spirit? Come on now. I got the Hierophant, and this feels like it's time for you to treat this as serious. Like, how you treat this situation and this path is how it will treat you. Maybe up to this point, you didn't take all the steps that were necessary to really create something for you from this. They're bringing me back to people I've worked with before, where it was like wanting to start a business, but not treating it like a business, not doing all the things that were necessary to set it up completely like a business. Not creating a structure for yourself. But then they're also bringing me to the Ten of Cups with a Hierophant, which is, this is a very spiritually guided life, career, choice, decision. It's the one thing that will bring you joy. How? You're not helping, Spirit. I got to be honest with you. Even I would be like, shut the fuck up. I would do exactly like that. I'd be like, shut the fuck up, because you are not helping. It reminds me of when you go like, but you don't have to live this existence, Spirit. Like, you feel like Spirit is so fucking out of touch right now. Aside from all the voices and things like that, when one takes actions and the world around you is still adhered to a different understanding and paradigm, and creates a world where you are penalized and endure suffering because you don't conform. And where basic sense of security and safety is necessary for any life force to continue to flow through you unobstructed. Like, that is bare fucking minimum. And the society is created to not work in your favor and to keep you unstable so long as you don't abide and adhere. What do you expect a person to do? That's how people get into the energy of, I need a miracle. I need a fucking miracle. This isn't somebody who isn't willing to fight for something. This is a person who's fought and been beat down. A catch-22. I have gone the other route. I got beat down. I've gone after what I want. I've got beat down. And so now I am permanently affixed to this Four of Cups energy where I sit the fuck right where I'm at and I do nothing. Hence, the idea, or here we go again. And you just don't want to hear it. You don't want to be patronized with the bullshit. You don't want to hear it. You just don't want to hear it. So that's why you're in the King of Swords energy with your heart on ice, because there's a lack of belief. You feel deceived going after what you think is for you, what is in alignment. You don't know what's in alignment for you. We have the Two of Cups, which is connecting with something that is in alignment with you, on your vibration, on your frequency. Seven of Swords, self-deception. What is that? Is it even for me? Feeling deceived by the idea that this is something that even exists, leaving you confused. Something's got to give. We've got a Tower with a Chariot. Something has to fucking give. Something has to happen in order to give forward movement. Why do I'm like delving in somebody's psyche. I thought this was going to be like a simple something. Something has to give. Tower moment. In order for there to be forward movement to what is rightfully mine, to what I want and desire, to the worldly freedom. That's what this card is. It's called universe in this deck, but it's the world. It's like, I'm waiting for the wheel to turn, Spirit. I'm doing nothing to stop it, because like me standing here and not doing anything isn't stopping anything. It should be able to come towards me. Okay, we're getting in a circle here, Spirit. There is something that keeps showing up in regards to money that stops this person from being able to move forward with what they know they're meant to do. I don't care what that is. I don't care if it's a move. I don't care if it's a job. I don't care if it's a whatever. But we keep ending up here. And all we get is follow your path. And following our path has led us to nothing. Which then keeps us firmly rooted, 1 foot in the past, 1 foot in the future, going nowhere. 4 of Cups. Which gives more of a megaphone to the voices, to the subconscious, to the people. And then the fear of them being right and of not being able to escape renders us feeling powerless. And yet the thing is, I think somebody's just like, throw me a fucking bone, for fuck's sake. You wanted a fucking answer about something very specific. You almost knew exactly what Spirit was going to say. You're like, no, I'm not going to listen to that bullshit. Stop it. That's why it was like that. Like, I don't want to hear the fluffy fucking bull crap. I don't give a shit. Been here again. Here we go again. Okay, I get it. It's like, Spirit, you're offering no real assistance or help. No real help. Do not fear what travel brings, my dear. Will it though? Storm and Tarot. Begin here. Like, go ahead and start it again, is what they're telling you to do. Start again. Like, keep going. Do something. So far, you feel like everybody else is right, society's right. There's nothing you can do. So you hold yourself back. And they're like, do it again. And I feel like you're saying, like, you are like, so put my focus here when this is happening. Like, give me no real answers to how to address this. They're telling you to take this weekend and start again, to do something that you've held back from doing. But it's the thing that you dream of, not the thing that it's like, okay, well, maybe this will save me. It's the thing that you dream of. Take time this weekend and put it towards that. When does this travel? I keep saying that. I'm like, I don't get it. You're holding yourself back. We get it. Do not fear what travel brings, my dear. What the fuck does that mean? Lord have mercy. Sometimes it sucks being the fucking messenger. Why? Okay, the channel song was, I'm a motherfucking star. Like, I know y'all know that one. I know this is going to be different for everybody, but the thing is, it's like something about this just does not feel right to you. It does not feel right. 6 of Pentacles and the Star. Something's going to be guided your way. Something you're meant to receive. But I guess you really have to receive it. Like, I don't know, is somebody going to commission you, like commission you to do a piece of art for them, but they want it by Monday, because that was the thing, you know what I mean? And something, you know, but you're like, oh, there's other things that I should be doing. And it's like, I don't fucking know, like something about that just seems like I should be directing my energy over here, and they're telling you to direct it here. Like you're going to hold back from something. Like an opportunity presenting itself. I feel disbelief in that. 6 of Pentacles. I'm starting to not like the 6 of Pentacles. I think I'm talking like the idea and notion of help, assistance, resources coming in, something like that. Because here's the thing, in this card, it's all about the receiving. And remember I said there's something that stops you from receiving. You're stopping the wheel from turning. Like, I don't know how this plays out in your life. I don't understand how this plays out. 6 of Pentacles, the Star. Some level of help, assistance, resource is being brought your way. And like, I feel like it's being guided. That's what the Star is. Some opportunity, some chance. And it's as if they're saying you have to choose. You've got to say yes. Is this legit? You feel guarded against this because you think that it's a lie. We got the 7 of Swords with the 7 of Wands. And you're like, I don't think so. Like you are in a protective mode. You don't want to do what you're being recommended to do by Spirit. You don't want to go that route because you don't believe it. You can't see. Your fear is stopping you from receiving. We got the 3 of Wands again coming up. That's your ships coming in. That's some form of ships coming in based upon you taking an action. And then we have the Moon. Either you don't see something on offer and you don't believe that this is going to come through, or you don't see how something's going to be beneficial to you if you do it, or the fear that you won't receive is coming up. You think it's a lie. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Tell me about this weekend. Tell me about this weekend. Let's get out of this energy and tell me about this weekend. Tell me about this weekend, Spirit. Tell me about this weekend. Opportunities will present themselves is what I want to say. We have the Queen of Wands again. 3 fucking times, guys. 3 fucking times. Something's coming towards you. If you're in the Queen of Wands energy, that is something coming towards you that you don't have to chase down. That did come out in the beginning. You don't have to chase it down. It's coming towards you. Queen of Wands in the upright position or in the positively aspected is open to receiving. In fact, that's the only way that she'll do something. She won't work for it. It can't be that simple. She won't work for it. It can't be that simple. The answer to my question, Spirit, can't just be just wait for something to come in. It can't be that simple. Whatever it is, you don't like this response. It feels like it's too simple. Like, just like, ooh, something's going to come in. You know what I mean? Is that your voice or is that your family's? Like you can't just sit there and wait for magic to happen. You've got to make it happen. Like, isn't that what they say? They downgrade people who receive assistance and stuff like that, right? They talk down on them as if it's, like, how dare you not even try? Like, in every facet of life, there's this. You're not okay with that response. You're not okay with that answer. But it's literally saying that, like, Seven of Cups is you don't see how being in the Queen of Wands, standing in your fucking power, knowing what you want and desire, and allowing something to come to you is going to make the fucking wheel change. You don't want to do that. You don't want to just sit there and let something come to you, but you also don't want to do things, Four of Cups energy, that you're like, I've already tried all this stuff. You don't know what to do. That's for the Seven of Cups. I don't even know what to do. You don't believe that just sitting here, something's going to come. You don't believe, Queen of Wands, that being creative and doing whatever is creative to you and fully expressing yourself, because you consider that not doing something is going to get this taken care of. They're concerned about something time sensitive. Somebody wants a guarantee. They're concerned about, like, what is this? Like, take me out of this person's energy. Because I got to be honest with you, I feel like I'm fighting the answer so much right now. I'm fighting it. Somebody doesn't want to hear this again. We're going to hear exactly what you didn't fucking want to hear. I don't want to hear this again. Like, if that's all you're going to say to me, don't fucking talk to me. If you're not going to answer my question directly and nothing more, I don't want to hear it. We got the Queen of Cups. And there was just like, you are enough in the world. I don't even feel open to the message of that. So we're going to do exactly what we said we wasn't going to do. Purple. Purple is pertinent here. There's a change in development that's going to happen. See the purple in that? Then we've got honesty. This is the truth. There's honesty here. There's going to be a change or development that's happening. You just need to stay vigilant. God dang it. Oh my God. They will not get that song out of my head. I'm a motherfucking star. Like, what the fuck? There's going to be a change in the development. You can trust this. Remain vigilant. We have partnership. Work with spirit on this is what I want to say. Work with spirit. Because we've got over here misfortune and restraint. There's been a lot of misfortune in your life, and that's where you get this restraint from. You're withholding. And there's some level of refreshment and recuperation that's coming in. If you are continuing to go after what it is that you want, and you are doubting having done so, I would say, and it's becoming where it is like somehow pursuing what you want or what you desire in the face of everybody telling you otherwise, or telling you that you shouldn't, or telling you you're going to fail. And in you, a fear is welling up that they're right, that everything that you keep seeing is telling you they're correct. You're going to fail. That you keep finding yourself in a low position, in a sense of instability. And it's having you want to either give up or restrain or pull back from this. And it's taking a lot of strength, because we got strength and turmoil, and it feels very conflicting. We had the 5 of Wands. Like there's a lot of desires. I want to feel peace. I want to feel secure. You know what I mean? I'm following this. Doesn't let me feel this way because of all of these things. And so like this desire to feel a sense of security versus this desire to go after what it is that I fucking want has me feeling like I just don't know. Right? Has me feeling fucking insecure, has me constantly feeling like I'm in this loop. Like I am bound to this. Like it's always, I'm bound to always fail or things go bad or things go south and get ruined. I'm starting to not believe that anything could actually happen and come from this. And it's making it very difficult to stop seeing all the negative that occurs. It makes it hard for me not to go, oh, see, and find evidence external to me that tells me they're right, I'm wrong. It makes it really difficult for me to be able to do that. It takes a lot to wait and be vigilant for this change that's said to come in. It makes me feel like I'm being deceived. And I just want to crawl back in my corner. I just want to give up. And I just want things to change. I just want you to be honest with me, Spirit. I don't want to hear, oh, something's going to come in to help you. I don't want to hear it again. I don't want to fucking hear it again. And the only thing they're saying is to be the Queen of Wands. Be ready to receive. Stay in, do whatever is necessary to stay in your creative state. Know your worth. Stand your ground. Stay in your fucking power. And allow something to come in. And it just can't be that simple, can it? It's not that simple, Spirit. You feel like you're sitting and waiting and watching, like you're in your car on the train tracks, watching a train come at you. I'm sorry, you want me to what? Just wait. The fuck? Just receive. Just believe. Just have faith. Like, what the fuck? I see what the fuck I see. That's what it feels like. And following what know that you can do this. Know that what you were born to create is your path and road to abundance. What's the tower moment? We got refreshment and recuperation, and it can't be that fucking simple. It can't be that simple. Change is just going to come in like that. Like, just... Madame Doors, what is the tower? I think you're anticipating some negative tower moment. You're anticipating a tower moment right now when Spirit's saying you're going to have a victory. You feel like you're watching a train coming. Something is due. There's financial instability. The answer is to stay in your power, to remain creative, to know your worth, to wait for things to come to you, to not try to force things. When you try to force something, you actually stop the wheel. When you try to intervene, when you try to control because of the things that are occurring. Nope, just got to wait. But you have this, it's a struggle. The Five of Wands, it's a struggle to be in that. You feel trapped in a loop. You feel trapped and beat down. You're like, I don't think I can do this. You think a negative tower moment is about to happen, and Spirit says you're going to have success. Unseen forces watch over you, and you are safe from harm. I don't know if somebody has just come to a place this weekend and they're just like, that you're just utterly ready to give up, and you are in a dark place about the choices you've made, or you feel like it's not worth it. You feel like somebody else has won out. You feel like they were right. You feel duped, deceived, stupid for going the path that you've chosen, for sticking to or having faith or believing in what Spirit is telling you, to following the path that feels right and true to your soul. And you're just like, I feel fucking stupid. I trust it and I feel stupid. And you feel like you're about to have a train wreck. You feel like you're constantly here over and over again. You feel bound to some kind of bullshit crap. And all you can hear are all the voices of the people that told you this would happen, whether it's society or everything else like that. And you feel like you're ready for something to go exceptionally wrong and for them to be right. And here Spirit is like yesterday, where they're like, you need to take some time to refresh. You need to recuperate. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that, Spirit. The answer is not taking time for myself, self-love, rejuvenating, getting back in my power. I'm seeing a train coming my fucking way. Something is due. And I'm just about to wave my white flag. Something due just feels like something that's like time sensitive. And you somehow feel like if you don't do something, do the restraint, that is the thing that's going to cause the misfortune. And it's almost as if they're like, if you do something that will be the spoke in the wheel, please don't. As a reader, I get real scared giving that kind of a message because I don't want to give false hope to somebody where this isn't going to occur. And I don't want to feed anybody's delusion of like, oh, I will just have a miracle and like everything will like gosh, like I'm like I can't imagine what somebody's facing, right? And to tell them, just don't do anything is like, I don't see what they're seeing, Spirit. And I get afraid of saying this to somebody because what if they shoot themselves in the foot? Because sometimes we will try to believe something's for us, right? And we'll seek out answers. Like I said, they said you've been doing. You are seeking things externally to validate what you're believing already. You'll see the moon, and it'll be revealed soon. Stay vigilant. From a personal standpoint, guys, I can feel them constricting my throat. They don't want me to say this. But you're going to have to do what you feel is right in the moment. I'm just the messenger. I can only tell you what is coming out, but I know what it's like to be human, and I know what it's like to be facing the things that you're facing in life. And sometimes the idea and notion that we don't like trying to do something will only backfire on us, and it's not going to be good for you. And it's like I think of worst case scenarios, like that's what my human will do. And I'm like, what if somebody could lose their child as a result of something like this because they waited for something? Like I'm like, whoa. Or they stayed the course of something where they feel like they're watched, you know what I mean? And so like I put myself in some kind of like, what would be my worst case scenario? And I wouldn't want to hear it either. Like if I felt like something was going to impact my children, the fuck you talking about? Just wait it out, wait and see. And I have had that happen before, actually. Maybe they're having me go down this route to give you an idea. I did have a situation where I was fighting for custody of my oldest son back when he was little. Because my illustrious parents, I won't tell you which one, pulled some shit. My son had a lot of behavior issues when he was younger. And I got cussed at and told that I was so wrong because I let him go see his father. Mind you, that there was a custody order in place. Okay. And I got cussed at and yelled at and told how horrible of a parent I was. And I wasn't doing things right all the fucking time by my parents. One parent more than the others, I will say that. And I had had enough. I was sick and tired of being told that my son, who now he's very neurodivergent, and we have diagnoses now that he did not have when he was younger. And people tried to make me feel like I was the worst parent available, and that I was the worst option that there was. And I got told how wrong I was and how many times I was doing something wrong because of the things that he was, the way that he behaved. And I was in a catch-22. I couldn't do anything about it, blah, 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 blah. And because they wanted to kick me out. My parent was like, then you can leave, because I stood my ground. So I packed my son up and I left. I was then blocked. They tried to stop me from leaving and said that I couldn't take my son and blah, 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 blah. The same fucking parent of mine then decided they were going to call my ex-husband. There's something wrong with her, all because I wouldn't do the same one they said that my child needed to not be around. All because I would not let them belittle me, scream and yell at me, tell me how horrible things were, how I couldn't seem to get it right. And I don't think she's right in the head. I'm not fucking kidding you. That's exactly what they said. Because they were like, then you can get out. And because I wouldn't leave and my son there with them, I had to pay. And then I spent time in court fighting. And the same song and story and dance came out that I couldn't control him and that he had behavioral issues. And it was all because of me. So the judge placed custody of my son, who has ADHD, OCD, and right now we're trying to find out if he has autism, which we believe he does. So the same parent that said that I wasn't good, I had to go to court, and they acted like they told me all kinds of stuff that when we got to court, I found out was a lie. And my attorney pulls me back into a room with them. And I was afraid to tell you. I didn't want you to hate me. So we end up in fucking court. So guess what the judge does? The judge goes, this might sound my ex-husband went and took him to try and prove that any of the things that I had done for interventions and to find out what was going on with him and what was wrong, that I was wrong. He took him to get diagnosed and assessed. Guess what? He got diagnosed. Then he said, I don't believe it, because he wasn't allowed to be in the fucking room. And let me tell you what, my first husband was a piece of fucking shit. And I'll say that to his goddamn face still today. Somehow, that because he didn't get to watch the assessment, he's not a fucking professional. He wouldn't know. He tried to prove me wrong and proved me right. And the court still gave him, because sometimes we don't mean to sound sexist, but sometimes women can't handle little boys that are wild. And I could not fucking believe that this judge made a judgment on something so sexist without any facts in his fucking favor. And I had to spend the next year and a half fighting it to appeal that decision. Mind you, this motherfucker was doing drugs, taking his son with him to buy drugs, all kinds of shit that my son has stories about. All because sometimes women can't handle little boys that are wild. Because this person didn't want to believe in certain diagnoses. Because they believe the statement of him. All the while, for the next year and a half, every time he called me and said, I don't know what's going on. He's kicking and screaming. Can you talk to him? I'm sorry, can you not handle little boys that are wild? And I have documentation of every single fucking time. And Spirit kept saying, this will go in your favor. I knew this motherfucker. This motherfucker did it because I got him taken out of being a police officer. This motherfucker that that was violent, that would do tactics like this to try and intimidate me so I wouldn't challenge him on stuff. He always pretended like he was going to do harm to me, who failed every drug screen he ever had to fucking take. And so I said something to the police force, and I was like, how are you going to let this motherfucker on your police force? And so he got kicked out for lying about his drug use and failing it for the fucking court systems. Who, by the way, didn't do a better job. He didn't stop using drugs. Who involved his son. And because he found another woman that had a lot of money. Let me tell you what. The shit that I had to fucking endure in my goddamn life. And then I had to have fucking faith that it would work out in my favor. Because I knew he did not need to have influence over my son. Oh, you're painting his toes? Oh, don't let him play with that doll. He'll turn out to be gay. He's the most... How I ended up with a bigot is because I had bigots for parents. Okay, guys? Feeling like everybody was just going to be that way. And I had to deal with it to a certain degree. When I tell you the shit that I fucking went through, and I had to trust, suddenly, that it was going to work out in my favor. Sure, Spirit, sure. Because why the fuck did this happen to begin with? Why did it end up here? So my son went out services for 2 years because of this whole ordeal. But it was also this ordeal that set the precedent where he no longer had contact with his son, period, after that. And to be honest, that's what I asked for, because I knew my son was better off without his father than with him. He made empty promises all the time, and I had to be the one to pick up the pieces. And while he was gone, my son cried every single time, Mom, why can't I be with you? Why can't da-da-da-da? And I had no fucking answer. And the shit that I had to fucking go through to believe and have faith that it was going to work out for the best in my son, and that I had just to wait it out. It was the beginning of having trust issues with Spirit. But it did. It did. Because in the end, the appeals court overturned the judge's ruling because she abused her discretion. There wasn't one thing that was established. No reason to change custody. And at the same time, his marriage fell apart because he was using drugs and he was using their money. And she started being afraid. His new wife, the stepmom, started being afraid to leave her son with him because of his aggression and his violent outbursts. He then started stealing from people. This is the same man that wrote a check for child support to me, then took it to the bank and had another female cash it against my account. This is the same man that stole money from his dying brother who had cancer. This is the same fucking man who took and stole from individuals. And I understand that's what addicts do, right? Oh, they need help. No. Here's the thing. They need help, absolutely. But we're not going to take away from all the fucking damage these people do to others. And then I have to pick up the pieces for the remainder of the time that I'm raising my son to heal from that fucking trauma and to help him, because this entire time I start getting I get so worried and concerned for the remainder of my son's life that he'll get taken away because I can't control his behaviors. Why didn't anybody, and especially his father, want to help? And when we mentioned to it to this day, let me just fucking tell you, when his son told him that we were trying to get assessed and that he thought he had autism, the only thing that piece of shit said to him is, well, you didn't get it from me. My son was better off without his dad. And I had to have faith when I was watching the train wreck. It was coming. It was happening. This is not good for my son. And Spirit's like, it will be rectified. And there was nothing that I could do. I had to wait. Worst scenario of my fucking life, or one of them, actually. And I had to have faith that things would work out in my favor. It is exceptionally difficult, guys. I know how hard that is. But it did. It did, because I got sole custody. And nobody else would support him. Nobody else would finance him. And he had proven himself. I even told the judge, I said, you're basing, like they tried to base, well, he's got a wife now. First off, that shouldn't be the basis of somebody going there. It was a 2-parent household. They'd be able to do a better job. Courts are not allowed to make a determination because the divorce rate in the United States is such that it's like, there's no guarantee that person's going to stay there. So you're uprooting and changing so much with this child because you believe X, Y, and Z. People wonder why I continue to stay with my family and support my parents. Because some people don't think that they deserved it. I have been fucked and screwed over like it's not even funny in life, giving people chance after chance after chance. But I've learned a lot. So when I tell you the things, and that's not even the fucking tip of the iceberg. I'm just going to tell you, not even the tip of the iceberg. The level of strength that it may take in this moment for whoever it is to believe when Spirit says there will be a victory, stay the course, when it feels like everything is counting against you and you're about to run into a train wreck. It's a lot. And if you can't, I fucking understand, because you're human and there is zero judgment. But if you feel even an inkling, like if you're in that state where you know Spirit told you over and over and over again to have faith, that you will have victory, to stay the course, to stay vigilant, to keep going, that the way to your abundance is through the route that seems like everybody else is going to tell you something, you know what I mean? Because I looked like an utter failure. The court took my child away from me. You must be terrible at parenting. And I felt like I was. Everybody's saying that. It wasn't everybody. It was his father who said that in court and my parents. I'm the same one that has taken care of them this entire time. Every time they had a surgery, every time they had a doctor's appointment, every time they had something bad happen to them, it was me. And all because my son had behavioral issues that he was born with that we couldn't control. Like I had anything to do with it. Anybody who has a child with severe ADHD or autism or anything else like that knows you do the best you can, and it's not your fucking fault. Don't believe. That just tells me that whatever voice you hear inside of you that has been impressed upon you and has been reiterated, because the judge doing that just made it seem like society agreed as well. It's not fucking true. And as hard as it may be, trust your own inner voice about who you are and trust Spirit. But no judgment. If you are in the place where you just can't, your sanity is more important to me. You don't have to go with what was said here today if you don't want to. This human experience and existence is fucking hard. Okay? So, I will never forget what I went through. I don't think that I'm meant to forget. My son and I have an exceptionally close relationship, and I honor him for who he is. And he's in a journey of self-discovery and trying to figure it out because he's not had help, with the exception of me And we've been limited our entire lives. I fought for him to get tested for dyslexia. I fought for him, and everybody just kept, do you know how many fucking times? And now that he's about to turn 20, we're finding out things were correct and we're right. He is seeing everything that I am seeing. People acknowledge these diagnoses now, but it's after all the trauma. I've gone through what I've gone through because I can identify and understand and help talk you through some of this shit. My story is not your story, guys, but I have a lot of fucking stories. That's why I do this. You know, I feared getting a call that my little child would pick up some kind of medicine, that he would end up hurt or harmed because of his dad's bullshit. To be called a liar by his new wife, to be called a liar. They even went as far as, instead of putting my name, we had joint custody still, meaning that I had just as much legal right to him. He just spent more time at his dad's. They wouldn't put my name on any of the forms. They kept putting the stepmother's name on stuff as being the mother. My fear isn't having a humble life. It's not being happy. Yes. Aw. Yadi, you didn't have to do that, but thank you so much. Anna, like, I get to see my cousin so much more. It's like being neighbors. And I really do enjoy being closer to family. Oh, I love you too. Sweatshirt off. Hi, my sis is in America. She is doing engineering. Her name is Lenore. Where will she be able to get? Oh, yeah, this isn't. This is a general read. Has my son ever had an EEG? No. But he has every telltale sign of autism, right down to the fits he would throw. This child would have three. We joke about it now. He would have like he gets way overstimulated. He has sensory issues. He gets he has whatchamacallit here. He has cysts now on his thyroid, which is very indicative of those who have like high functioning autism. Like, it happens, like thyroid issues. Tested, he does not have cancer. Those are just cysts that are on there. But it causes hormone issues. Fun fact that I've learned: women who are having thyroid issues during pregnancy, that is a contraindication. Like, it is a contributing factor to autism, and they're looking at that as being one of the things that can cause that, because it's something that's they're born with. Just as a reminder for all the people who want to say it's a vaccine, it's fucking not. Funny thing, Alyssa, is that my entire family is littered with ADHD and autism. I want to say littered, but it's not. I even think my cousin who passed, Anna, you let me know. I think Jonathan had ADHD, and that's some of the things that he struggled with as well. I don't know if he was fully ever diagnosed, but we know he had difficulties within school, social, being accepted, and things like that. And my 2 nephews are diagnosed. I have ADHD. Sister's got it. Like, it runs through my family. We're even looking at each other, looking at my mom, going, we see it now. Yes, and the autoimmune disorders actually go hand in hand with that as well. Neurodivergent people, their response to shit is just yay. Oh, he has epilepsy. Same with thyroid. And yourself. Welcome. Both my boys were diagnosed with it. That's what I thought. And we found out Thomas had, and when we found out Thomas had cancer, we were also in the process of testing him for autism. Yeah. Yeah. It's a genetic. It's genetic in families. And Anna is my family, and it runs in my mother's side of the family. And I also think that I can tell where my cousin Amber, she's on here sometimes. I know she's got ADHD. Like, I know. And I think Adam had it. Like, it's genetic. It's passed genetically. And so it's really uncommon to have just one person in your family that has that. So just letting you know. And as a result, like, a lot of the mothers, the females in my family, have a lot of autoimmune issues, everything from Hashimoto's, celiac, to I have IC, to my sister has Crohn's, like everything, like our bodies attack ourselves. And autoimmune is heavily, a lot of those have a lot to do with like it's intricately connected to things like your thyroid and stuff like that. And so, our hormones get really, and then we have children. So, but I'm in the process right now of trying to get my youngest one diagnosed. My baby is in 2nd grade and reads at a kindergartner level. And he's displaying some of the same things his oldest brother had with learning difficulties. And so, but it's a process. And society will fight the fuck against us like it's not even funny to acknowledge shit. In the state of Kentucky where I live, they don't look at dyslexia as a learning disability. Yet they will not accommodate any person's dyslexia so that they can fucking learn. And dyslexics have a harder time getting things from short-term memory to long-term memory. And they will get exceptionally behind. My son mixes up words, doesn't say things quite right, reads things wrong. Like he'll like, it's not the whole, like, the reversing of letters is it's so stereotypical, like that's all there is to it, and it's not. It's how the brain receives information and inverts it that makes it so fucking difficult. But when he is taught something orally and hands-on, he's exceptionally intelligent and moves beyond. But everything that's written that he has to understand, math, reading, yeah, we all fucking got it. Anna's my cousin. For anybody who doesn't know that's in the chat, she's my cousin by blood on my mom's side. And we're all just, adding. Yeah, I knew it. Adam had ADHD too. Like, I never really asked Adam, but I knew he did, which makes coping more difficult. And tied into food allergies, it is. It all comes full circle. Mm-hmm. Yep. But the level of things that we've had to endure, and then to have faith, to know, like, here's the thing, guys, that I've always done this. I did a tarot reading trying to find out how long it was going to take. And I shit you fucking not. Spirit told me, like, that's why I know I can do timing. They were like, 2 years. From start to finish, it'll be 2 years. And I was pissed. But it's going to turn out in your favor. It's going to turn out in your favor. 2 years. 2 fucking years. I want you to know. It was 2 years, almost to the exact day where my son went to his father's for when he came back. Same month, almost to the exact day when I got the news that the courts overturned it. And within 3 days, his dad was like, hey, we're just going to let him come back to you. And I found out that him and his wife, he was getting kicked out. He was getting divorced. He was, all that kind of shit. Like, and I was like, of fucking course. Because he was still into drugs. He was still using, and he was. So 2 years. And I had to have faith. And I had to sit through that. And it's hard. It's hard. So when Spirit says you're going to be okay, you're safe from harm. I know it's hard to believe. And sometimes we're like, my version of harm and yours are 2 different things. I encourage you to try and have faith. I encourage you to have faith. I believe them when they say you're safe from harm. If that means anything. And I be throwing fists at the air to Spirit and cussing and all kinds of shit. I'm right there with you. Yes. These kids with all of this, where they find it difficult to conform and operate within society as it is within this existence, often have exceptionally spiritual gifts. And it's so funny because I see a lot on TikTok now where they're like, you're not spiritually gifted, you're just autistic. And it's like, how do you not know that those things go hand in hand? Like, how do you not know that the autism or the this, that, or the other isn't, and I'm not saying this for everybody. They just like try to discredit anybody who has any type of spiritual gifts, right? By linking it, and they're like, you're not really empathic. You just learn to always be really careful. And it's like, being an empath is more than just finding a way to appease people. You know what I mean? It's not like being able to just scan stuff. Like, empathy is, I can know things about you I shouldn't fucking know. Because if you can't do like details, because I can feel you and that tells me things about you, meaning that I can feel what you went through. Like when I sit here and I read, I get into your energy and I feel you. I know your thoughts. I know your but information comes to me more. It's more than just knowing patterns. They're like, oh, it's just pattern recognition. It's more than that. I fucking guarantee you, because there's a million different, especially for those who have a neurodivergent, who have the ability of pattern recognition. You're aware of all the number of patterns that could exist for one scenario. How things can unfold. So you like to pick up on that. I don't know. People will say all kinds of shit. It's difficult living with those things within society as it is set up today and in today's existence. And just as a reminder, I know there's a lot of people in the spiritual community that will tell you on the same track of it being a spiritual gift and you'll get discouraged frequently from taking medication. And I want to say that you need to take whatever course of action you feel is right for you to be able to thrive in this existence. Because that is the ultimate goal and purpose, is to have the human experience, not a prison sentence within your own body and your own mind. Do what you feel is right and what you feel drawn to. Period, point blank. Okay? And don't deny your magic because other people dismiss it, minimize it, don't see it. Don't. I believe so too. I think that neurodivergency is actually the evolutionary process. I think that that's what we are all evolving to, in all honesty. And I know that that can be difficult because in the evolutionary process, there can be extremes that are very problematic. And I know that there are extreme circumstances. And so there's no minimization of what people go through and have to experience and what it can mean because autism has all kinds of symptoms and difficulties. And I know that that is exceptionally difficult for those that care about and for people with those things, with that type of a brain, not those things, that type of a brain. Okay. Because it's neurological. It's neurological. And my love and my support and, yeah, my love and my support are absolutely in your corner. And especially for those who want to like say, well, they don't look like they have, where, yeah. And having a different mind does not make you less. Because I know that's another thing too. So anyways, guys, that was a whole ass extra shit. 2220 that's been fucking following me now. 222244. 222's been following me. I don't know why it showed up this last week, but it has been in my face, like in my face. License plates, money, like receipts. Oh my gosh, it was on one of my social media like posts. It was like I've been like, okay. Ooh, dude, when I was in high school, my English teacher said I might have dyslexia. Most of my spelling tests were wrong, for I keep getting 2 letters backwards constantly. Hey, Aries girl. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, you just got an insight into one of the many, many fucking things I've been through in my life. And you are supported no matter what you choose to do as a result of this reading, whatever way that you take. I would have faith in spirit right now, but you got to do what you got to do for you. Okay. So, all righty. Today's Friday. God, why do I keep forgetting it's Friday? Oh my gosh. My brain is like, I don't know. Yeah. So maybe this weekend we'll do some tarot demystified or something. Maybe there'll be I have the little one tomorrow during the day. And I'm just telling you, there's no getting through a full-on tarot demystified with him around. He is a mama's boy. He likes to be doing stuff. And he likes to see himself on camera. So if I'm in here, he tries his best to come in here. And I try to keep him off camera, guys. So, anywho. All right. But maybe Sunday. I'll try to post it in enough advance so you all know. Okay? All right. I hope this message found whoever it was meant for. And I will see you all later this week.